foot long, his body's 4 foot, and the tail comes
way back yonder.
way back here.
Hey guys, Ken Smith, KenSmithFishing.com. This is going to be Bass Champs this week, but before I get into the video, I want to have a little bit of a serious conversation. I've really enjoyed doing the videos and have had no problems with anybody on the water in any of the places that I've shown on film until this weekend. And this weekend, you know, I showed you guys all those flipping fish last week, and I ran up there to fish those flipping fish, and right in the middle of them was a local, and he was stubborn. He was ugly. I tried to speak to him. He would not have words with me. It's really disappointing. I shot footage of it to kind of expose this guy. So here you go.
From his nose to his tail, to his eyes, you convert that into inches, and that'll tell you about how big.
Really? So if he's a foot from the tip of his nose to the tip of his eyes, he's 12 feet long?
For the most part.
That comes from a guy who's hunted alligators, so he knows what he's talking about. He's gonna make some racket when you spook him out of that spot right there. If you spook him out of that spot right there. Oh, man, those things creep me out.
See how far, how big his head is?
He's got a big noggin on him. If you would lay down out there next to him, it would give us a much better scale. That's a gar. They were doing that in here the other day.
Me lay down beside him?
Yeah, if you lay down there beside him. He is not even a little bit afraid of us. Y'all can't see, but we're not a boat length away from him. He does not care. He's at least 10 feet, isn't he?
He's at least 10. You look at his head, his
You
head's
can
a
see
foot
where
long.
he just pitched.
His head is a foot long, his body's 4 foot, and the tail comes
Way back yonder.
way back here. He's looking at you, looking straight over here at you.
He knows he's on Ken Smith Fishing. He likes that.
See,
Yeah, no, he likes
watch,
it.
He's opening his eye and looking straight at you.
Hey.
If I flip right there and catch a 12,
It's gonna
you'll
be
be fishing by every alligator you see.
golly. You get a sense of how big he is. He's a great biggin, man.
Okay, this is a big one. It's like a 12-footer. So my partner there is Kevin Laseon. I hope I get that right, from Dry Prong, Louisiana. So actually outside of Dry Prong. He doesn't want to be associated with the big town of Dry Prong. Kevin's partner, Randy Despino, went off and fished the FLW Tour this year, as my partner, Dickie, did. So we connected the other day and decided to why not fish a little bit together this year, and I really had a great time. It's fun to fish with guys that I haven't gotten to fish with before, and we're certainly going to fish some more this year. So we had a big time. We didn't have a great tournament, but we'll get into that in a second. A couple of things I want to mention to you before we go too far into this. Number one, the delays on this deal. I have no problem with Bass Champs delaying this tournament because of forecasted bad weather. I don't understand why they didn't let us fish Saturday. We were all already there. Nobody would have gained an advantage. I asked any tournament circuits in the future that you do this. We're all there anyway. Let us go fishing. What basically this turned into was us driving 4 hours down there and 4 hours back. The lake's off limits Saturday. We get to fish 4.5 hours, 5 hours Sunday. Really frustrating. Not what I want to drive to Rayburn and do. So think about that, guys, if you would in the future, that run circuits and let us fish that Saturday if you're going to make it off limits. If the weather had been bad, that would have been our own choices. You wouldn't have had any liability over that. So I really do appreciate you guys holding us Sunday, although I hated sitting there for over 5 hours before we got to go. But if you don't know, and it's a pretty well-held secret, FLW had at least 2, if not 3 accidents that I know of, 2 for sure that I know of, at Seminole the first day last week because they turned their anglers loose in the fog. And those guys are fishing for a living, and if you say go and I sit there because of bad wind or fog, I know I'm losing money. So as a tournament angler, I would have gone with those guys. And so that's a situation where the tournament organization's got to step up and put their foot down and say, sorry guys, we're not going to fish until it's safe for you guys to fish. You put your anglers at risk. You put their families at risk. I'm stunned that you guys let that happen, and I hope I don't see that happen again. I hope you don't put us in that position again. Yeah, we'll gripe that we got to sit there, but you got to do the right thing for us and make us sit there. So kudos to the Bass Champs guys for making 300 and something boats sit there all morning until it was safe for us to go somewhere. So thanks for that. A lot of guys also say we'd love to come to Rayburn and fish a tournament, but we don't want to come down there and get beat up by, you know, Albert and Clayton and Rusty and Corey and, you know, all the local guys who, can forgive me if I don't mention your name there, but there's, you know who you are if you're a hammer down there. Clint and Stacy of Outlaw Outdoors came up with a brilliant idea, I think. It's called the Average Joe's Tournament. The first one of the year is next weekend. It's the 24th. If you've won, you got to look at the rules, but if you've won a combined $1,500 in the last year on Rayburn, you can't fish the tournament, which I think is a great idea. It's got a real club feel to it. We'll probably be around. We may not be around for that one, but we'll be around for some of them in the future. Sarah and I will be fishing our anniversary tournament this weekend. That would be the Outlaw Outdoors. It was supposed to be last Saturday, on Sunday on the 10th. So we'll be up this weekend fishing, practicing Saturday and fishing the Outlaw Outdoors tournament on Sunday. So come join us for that as well. But you got back-to-back tournaments here. You got Sweet 16 this weekend on Sunday, and then you got the Average Joe's the following weekend. And I bet he gets a really good draw on the Average Joe's. Truthfully, a lot of us haven't been able to fish much this year, but it's a really neat deal. And if you just want to come down and fish, and it's only, I think, a $160 entry fee, so it's not an expensive tournament, this would be an ideal weekend to do it. Okay, you're going to see some Alabama rig fishing in this tournament, in this video. I get a lot of questions about my Alabama rig setup. So I will remind you that in one of these two corners right now, I'm going to put up a little video, a link to a video you can go watch. That is my Alabama rig setup, and the hooks we use. Now, the hooks I originally used was a specific head. The guys reached out to me and said, "Hey Ken, we've got a better head. It's the same hook, but it's got a little bit bigger keeper on it. And it's called the Hunter head. You can get it with or without a single wire weed guard, and you can buy them directly from Bite Me Tackle and I'll put the link in the description below. But you can buy them directly from them with or without the weed guard in a 50 count, which saves you a ton of money. And to save even more money, they're giving us a 10% discount. If you use the coupon code KenFishing10 at checkout, you'll get a 10% discount off those. So if you want to try out those baits, I really, really like that hook with pretty much any of the little swim baits that I'm using. And you can see why in the video I showed you there just a second ago. So feel free to get some of those baits, check them out, or those hooks and weights. I think you'll really like them. So let's go to Rayburn. Let's go see what we did on Rayburn this week. All right, so it is Sunday, March 10th. I should know that. It's my anniversary. This is the Bass Champs tournament that they canceled yesterday because of bad weather, and it was perfect weather all day. And today we had fog. And then we had fog, and then we had more fog. We had some more fog. And Kevin and I sat up there until 12:30 right at. We made our first cast at 1 o'clock. I caught a fish on my first cast. I don't think I have that fish on camera. But we just rolled up on some drain fish, and here's kind of what we did.
You didn't have that on when you caught that fish?
I may not have. I'm not sure if I had the camera on or not, but it's 1:01, and I made my first cast and caught one about 2 1/4. That is the first cast of the tournament because of a 4-hour fog delay, 5-hour fog delay. A long fog delay. Flavor out of you, aren't
You gonna make me go smack you?
That's two pretty quick. They get hooked like that from sideways, they feel big. Big. Stop it. Huh?
You'll make it, ain't it?
Yeah. Help or not?
I think so. I just barely seen it.
Not a good swing job. Give him
Keep catching.
Newberry. So we caught a limit there, but gosh, we had as many fish slapping a rig as we caught. It was the craziest thing. And we fished around there. We got about 12 pounds. And now we did a little bit of flipping in that area and culled one small fish. This fish right here. If he helps us, he's going to help us a tenth. Let go of the glove, dude. Can't turn you loose if you don't let go of the glove. by that hook I'm using. And then that's been so far about our day. It's already 4:11 and we get to fish till 6:30 today, so we get about a 5-hour day, which even on Rayburn, on a super short day, it's still going to take 15, 16, 17 pounds to get a check, so we've got to do better. We've come up here to the fish I was flipping the other day, and it's just not happening. You know, they've dropped another 1.5 feet of water out of here in the last week. The water is, golly, the water's 65 right here. We're seeing some fish moving up in the super shallow stuff, but we're not going to push back in there. We're going to stay out here a little deeper. And I think we've about decided to abandon this and run back down where we were fishing earlier, a little further down the lake, and just do some more drain fishing and try to get on a better fish. I did lose one about, it was between 3 and 5 on an A-rig. That probably gonna hurt us if we can't do something here pretty soon. But you can see now he's still flipping, and I'm kind of fishing out in the drain trying to catch a fish out here roaming, or maybe one spawning out here a little deeper. But that's what we got going. It's actually been not too bad of a day, other than literally sitting around in this fog this morning for, well, I got up at 5:30, so I've been up since 5:30 and didn't get to go fishing until 12:30. We did make the decision, instead of coming up here and doing this, because I knew this water was dropping, even though I caught all those fish up here the other day, that it did not make sense to come back up here and gamble on these fish not being, you know, these fish are backing out with this, with the water dropping. And I think that was certainly a smart move on our part. So, you know, at least we got a limit, and we got a little something to work off of. And we get a couple of big bites, we can certainly cash a check. And we got a solid hour and 45 minutes of fishing time left before we got to run back. So we'll just keep poking around.
Okay, so recap is we weighed 1190. It took 12.5 pounds to get a check. We did weigh our fish. We had 2 for sure and probably 3 fish on that would have gotten us, 2 would have got us a check, and 1 would have got us probably, it would probably been a 2.5, 3 pound cull, so it would have moved us up quite a bit. But you know, when we sitting around talking that morning, we had 10 or 12 places we wanted to fish, and we wound up only getting to fish 2 because it was such a short day. So it's hard to really expand on areas when you've got that little bit of time to fish. Luckily, we did catch a limit really quick, but well, I say really quick, 40 minutes, which normally would be really quick, but in a 4.5 hour tournament, it's not really quick. So it's a fun tournament. I really enjoyed fishing with Kevin, and we'll get out on the water again soon. So hope to see you guys this weekend at Rayburn, and we'll see you down there.